Tim Baker,
Tom Power.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad. It's nice to be here in my sort of fake living room.
Yeah, it looks good. I love the fact that you guys moved that. Wait, did you actually move the couch too? No.
No, this is a couch
Okay.
that was here. The only thing that came with me is the blanket behind me and the banjo right here.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that blanket. I've got an Ann blanket or two myself, actually. I should have got one out for the show here, but anyway.
Well, next time, next pandemic.
Too yeah, too warm for blankets these days. Oh my God.
Can you tell us the story? And when you get a second, I don't mean to disturb you from your hydration. Can you can you tell us the story
Shagger.
of being on the road, getting the news about the coronavirus, where you were, what was going through your mind, and then having to come home?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually thought back many times and tried to remember exactly what was going through our heads. Um, I was on tour in Europe with my partner Nico. We were touring around just doing solo shows, and then I got a berth on the bus with Half Moon Run, and I opened their shows there. So I was out in Europe for about 7 weeks on the road, and I mean, I became aware of it at some point. This thing in China, and then during the Half Moon Run tour, it became a bigger deal, and we were talking about it. And we had to cancel our Italian shows, but it still seemed kind of contained. Uh, but then we did play the Spanish shows, but we were very worried about it. And in Madrid there and Barcelona, and nobody else seemed worried about it there. Everybody was. We were like, "What about this virus?" They're like, it's a scam. Don't worry about it." Which they should definitely have been worrying about it, I guess. I got an argument with several bartenders. They were like, "It doesn't exist." I was like, "We should wash our hands anyway, though, right, guys?" But they weren't having it. Anyway, God love them. It's been bad over there, and we managed to finish the tour. It was miraculous. We played the last show in London on like March 12th or 13th or something to a load of people at the Roundhouse, and we were supposed to fly directly to the Junos, and that didn't happen. So we came home, and I still somehow, like, I don't know why we all drew these lines in our minds, like, oh, it's over there, it's not going to be over here. I came home and I did my 2 weeks because I've been in Europe, and I figured after 2 weeks, that's fine. I gotta write a record anyway. I could spend 2 weeks, at home. I've been on the road for 2 months. And then of course, somewhere in that 2 weeks, everybody went home inside as well. And when I was finally free, there was nothing to do but stay inside. Yeah. So
I
the
remember that.
rest,
I remember
obviously.
that, like you did 2 weeks of self-isolation, and then you were like, well, here, nothing has changed. Nothing has
Yeah, I know.
changed.
I got to go to the grocery store. It was actually very exciting
I remember that.
and terrifying. I hated it, actually.
I was so
Yeah.
worried about you. I remember that I got into the Junos the night. My story was that I flew into the Junos
Right.
to Saskatoon and then had to fly back the next morning because the Junos had been canceled. And I remember
I know, sin.
I remember getting a text from you being like, I guess I'm not coming to hang out. Like, I guess we're not going to do this,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And you were, I mean, it was sad. It was hard for you, and sad for, sad for the Junos, obviously, sad for Saskatoon, sad for all of us. I was looking forward to that.
You're still a maybe Juno winner. We still don't know.
Nobody knows. I know. I'm not holding my breath, but you never know. And the ECMAs were supposed to be this past weekend in St. John's,
Yeah.
which I was very excited
Me too.
about. I was up for a load of those too. And here I am, still sitting in this room.
How did you feel on the plane on the way home?
I felt really lucky. I felt like I kept likening it to like this long Indiana Jones style slide under the door, just at the last minute. Europe seemed to be closing up, and Trump put the travel ban in from Europe the night before our show over there. And we were worried. We were worried we weren't going to be able to go home. We were going to be stuck in some really expensive hotel in the middle of London for who knows how long. So just really, really glad. But it was weird. Everyone had masks on. I didn't manage to get one before they all ran out there. So just tried to pretend, whistle past the graveyard, just like that's all good and watch a movie, no big deal. Just don't touch your face. Yeah, yeah.
All right, the
No.
songs on the new EP were written before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, yeah. A while ago, it was part of the Forever Overhead full length studio sessions, and just never really fit the style kind of that record. But I'd always been really happy about those songs, and they seem to fit the present moment
How?
very well. I was going to call it the EP Survivors anyway, and the lead song is called Survivors. Um I mean, it started as a song just about just sort of a talking to myself, trying to get myself up and motivated and out of a slump. And I was thinking about how just being alive is kind of a miracle. I mean, when you think about it, like it's successful just to like walk around and breathe. Really, when you think about, I kept thinking about, all of the people that had to live to reproductive age for me to be here, and that echoing back right into history and prehistory, and like the collective resilience of all these people, like handing life forward, and I'm at the top of it here, you know. And how could I be like lying on the ground wanting to give up when that is in reality how I got here. So I sort of put that into a song, and it worked on me. And so I was like, maybe it'll work for other people too. But like I said, never made the record. But it felt, I mean, here we are all trying to survive, and all manner of anxieties. And I thought maybe this is a good time for it to come out. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I feel like that's my justification for not doing anything. Like I'm lying on the couch eating chips saying I should probably go out for a run, and I go, nah, it's probably just enough to be alive at all.
Well, that can work both ways, I suppose.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's amazing enough that I've managed to survive. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to push it.
Yeah. Yeah, look at me. I mean, revel at me. I mean, this is amazing, isn't it?
Tim, you must miss. You're a creature of the road. I know that. You must miss it.
I do. I mean, as you know, it's like seasonal work being a musician. I was off touring for last year and the winter, as I said, and I was sort of coming to a natural close here, and working on the new record and writing a lot and going in the studio shortly. But still, the summer was peppered with lots of shows. All of July, we were going to be on the road, going to be touring back home to Newfoundland, doing lots of festivals out west. And well, I mean, we're all pretty crushed, yeah, that's not going to be happening, spiritually and financially. Yeah, so it's really too bad. I mean, the one thing that keeps me going is the fact that I cannot wait. I can't even really imagine how exciting it's going to be to play music with other people really loudly. I'm so excited.
I
It doesn't even, yeah.
Yeah, I've been, I think there's a bit of, and you know me, I'm not normally like this, but there's a bit of magic that people are writing songs about things that happened before the pandemic, like the stuff on this record, that has such resonance now about this very specific sort of unpredictable moment. Like I find it sort of magic that stuff that was created before it can help us with it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love that. That is a really big part of what I feel like my job is. I've been on I've done a few different things, trips and educational trips and things, and I feel like often my role is to sort of try to interpret what everyone's feeling and going through, and so I often look back through the songs that I've written over the years and over the years with Hey Rosetta, and I try to find like, oh, what's a good song for the start of a journey, or what's a good song for a funeral, or what's a good song for a wedding, and and I'm always surprised at how you can take something and it's reveals itself in a whole different light, brand new. It is exciting, and it feels almost creepy how how appropriate it can be. And yeah, I mean, like the record Forever Overhead, the full length is like, there's a lot of songs on it about being convalescing, or being at home, being held apart from your people, being held apart from the action and the love that you want to experience. And in my mind, when I was writing, it was more about modernity, and being like, stuck in an office, stuck in your condo, stuck behind a computer. But now it feels very relevant for this current situation. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear the song. You're going to play Survivors?
Yes. Yep.
Well, nice to talk to you, bye.
Yeah. Love to talk to you as always.
This is how we communicate most of the time is these days.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yeah.
this is a nicer angle than I
get my
normally
mic out.
get at the Zoom calls at home.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. This was the cover for the single, so I thought I would leave it on the wall, and you know, try to look my best here.
You know, maybe keep it up for when I maybe keep it up for the Friday night Zoom calls. Maybe, you know.
Yeah,
No,
I'm good. I'm good. The snacks are in there. That's the thing.
That's right. Tim, thanks, buddy.
No sweat, Tom. Thank you.